way, the Pittsburgh Steelers are back to receive. Chris Gardocki by Edwards, and they'll take it at the 20. The Steeler offense led by Cordell Stewart, who hopes to return to his 97 form after a disastrous season last year. Jerome Bettis sat out the entire preseason recovering from a knee injury. He'll see his first action tonight with Whitman, Hawkins, Ward, and Bruner, the tight end. The offensive line has Gandy, Faneca, the Iron Man at center, All-Pro Dermontti Dawson, along with Stye and Conrad. They'll come out in the I, Bettis, the deep man. Stewart to throw. Too high for Ward. The Browns defense has Derek Alexander at left end. He had 7.5 sacks last year with the Vikings. The other starters, Yurkovich, Ball, and McCormick. At linebacker, Theory, Wally Rayner, the rookie middle linebacker, in place of the injured Chris Spielman and Miller. The secondary with Fuller, Antonio Langham, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year as a Brown in 95, Pope, and McIntyre. Bettis. And the bus rambles to the 25. His first action. Joe, he can't be in football condition.
No, he's not. I mean, he's had an appendectomy in May, a knee operation, knee surgery in August. Of course, now the calf has been bothering him. He hasn't had a chance to practice. The big thing will be conditioning and how much he is spotted through the night. I think it's good you get him out of the game even though it's third and short. Give him a chance to get as much rest as you can so you have him for the entire evening.
Bettis goes to the sideline, and they go with 5 wide receivers, nobody in the backfield. Quarterback draw, Cordell Stewart. Corey Fuller comes up from the corner to make
Mike,
the
this
stop.
is one of the things that Cordell Stewart felt wasn't a part of his game last year. He didn't feel he had the freedom to take off and run. Look at all the receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They spread them all out. He drops back and just goes up the middle. This is really Cordell picking a spot. He realizes he only needs 4 yards. He can pick it up almost every time out of that formation.
If you spread the field for him, he's virtually unstoppable. Stewart changing the play with Bettis, a single setback. Now Whitman back into the backfield, and Whitman looked confused. The option. And Stewart out to the 38.
There's one for you.
You know, the other thing that happens when Cordell Stewart is back there by himself with 5 receivers, it takes all the linebackers out of there, Joe. There's nobody in the middle once you get past the defensive line. But now you see Cordell Stewart going down the line, running an option play. This is something that he checked off to. Bettis didn't really get back in the backfield where he belonged, and the play broke down, but yet he still picked up 4 yards.
Richard Huntley has checked in for the first time. He's number 33. Stewart against the blitz to Huntley. And Jameer Miller takes him out of bounds, but they have another first down up at the 45.
I really like the job that Kevin Gilbride is doing as an offensive coordinator with a young quarterback. He knows that Cordell wants to be involved in this game, so he's given him a chance to put the ball in the air, run a quarterback draw, welcomes the fact that he can check off to an option if he wants, although I wouldn't recommend that very much. But Kevin's really given a lot of confidence back to Cordell.
Five wide receivers. 4-man rush, good protection for Stewart, and he throws a strike to Bobby Shaw, the second-year receiver out of California.
Let me just add one more point here. By him running the quarterback draw on the first play out of 5 wides, it has to make the linebackers and the people up front rushing a little bit more cautious, which means it's going to be easier for his line to block and a chance to get out and complete those passes.
Stewart, who had such a brilliant 97 and fell off so drastically a year ago, leads them out on a 1st and 10. And now he sees something he doesn't like and asks for a timeout. Timeout on the field with 11:47 to go, first quarter. First quarter, the Steelers and the Browns from Cleveland Browns Stadium. 73,200 on hand. On the right, Al Lerner, the chairman and owner of the Cleveland Browns. Carmen Policy, the president and CEO, the former San Francisco executive, next to him in the owner's box. Bettis hit at the line, bounces off. Jurkovic had a shot at him, lost his helmet and the ball carrier at the same time.
Jurkovic is one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet in football, but I'll tell you, this was not funny, because when he hits Jerome Bettis, watch what happens to Jurkovic's helmet. He's got the shot. Bettis comes right to him. Number 67 is Jurkovic. Well, look at his helmet. Bettis just knocks it out of the way and then picks up an additional 3 yards.
Well, the bus is almost as big as the defensive line. 2nd and 5. Steelers driving, opening possession. Cordell, too tall. Intended for Hawkins. He was covered by Antonio Langham.
You know, when you were talking about Cordell and working with the offensive coordinator, he said this year he's so comfortable because he can now inject his own plays that he wants to put in, and he can say yes and no. Last year, he was really caught in a bind.
Well, he was caught in a bind. So was Ray last year. I mean, he was asked to run an offense that really wasn't his, so it was tough on both the coordinator and the quarterback a year ago.
3rd and 5. Stewart returned. Was that in the flat for Shaw, and he's got a first down to the Browns 32. Corey Fuller took him out.
Did you see how quick Shaw turned up after he caught the ball? And you talk about a heads-up play. He was about 4 yards short of the first down when the ball comes. But watch how fast number 82, Shaw, turns after he catches it. Watch it. Now in backup field. Picks up the first down. That's beautiful.
As a group, the receivers aren't very fast, but they've got a lot of quicks among them.
This will be the 10th play of the drive. First down from the 31. Stewart in rhythm, and he got that one to Courtney Hawkins, who led the club a year ago with 66 catches, but he couldn't hold it.
You know what's amazing, Joe? When you look at this offense, not only they're going with the receivers, but Bettis goes in motion, he goes out, and also Whitman goes out into the flat. So everybody's gone.
This reminds me of the year the Steelers went to the Super Bowl under Changeli. 5 wides, 3 wides, a lot of motion, featuring throwing the football in the first series as opposed to just pounding it out.
Bettis breaks it outside. Bettis to the 25.
Well, John Theory just found out how quick Bettis' feet are. Theory comes up, and he thinks he has Bettis in the backfield. Theory is number 53. Watch this move that Bettis puts on. Boom. There goes Theory. Here comes Bettis.
Knee and calf look pretty good right there.
I think he's all right.
Yeah.
Listed at 250, 5'11". Bill Cowers, you heard earlier perhaps, said he'd like him in for about 30 plays. 3rd and 4. Bettis on the toss. Bettis about a yard shy of our ESPN Gold 1st and 10 line. Jameer Miller on the stop. And the first decision for Bill Cowher.
You're going to bring the chains out and take a look-see.
Well, they marked it a little closer than it initially appeared.
Well, they've got to actually get it inside the 21. Joe?
No, they're short. They're short. I'm first regular season game. They're short.
Okay.
It's a guaranteed first down, isn't it?
I think the man.
Am I on a roll or what? Look at that.
Whoa!
Look at that. That's short.
Wait a minute.
That is short by ever so much. Eagle eye. Thank you very much.
By a link.
Doesn't matter.
A link.
A link. A link. A thread. Just a little short.
You see Cowher say go for it?
Didn't hesitate a second.
You've got Jerome Bettis. You've got John Whitman back there. Now you bring in Mitch Lyons, who weighs about 270, a tight end. You should be able to beef it up inside.
Chris Palmer hoping his defense can hold on the first drive of his head coaching career. Richard Huntley checks in as well for Pittsburgh. 4th and an inch. Quarterback keeper. Let's see where his forward progress was. The Browns are saying he didn't get it. What a lift this would be for them.
Well, I'll tell you, if it's the official on the far side,
I think he might have it.
he would have it where he was lined up first. Cordell does the smart thing. Watch, he'll hesitate for a second to wait for Demonte Dawson to make the block. But then he hesitates a little bit too long. No, it doesn't make any difference where Cordell Stewart is. Where is the ball? The ball never crosses the plane.
Remember, he was short by a link.
2 links.
I think he might make it by a link this time. What a job that defensive front of the Browns did, getting under that offensive line and creating penetration.
Joe, you were so good on the first one. Why didn't you just stop?
Now 1-for-1.
The Browns hold, and it brings...
Mike, I'll tell you, if I'm the Cleveland Browns on offense, I don't come out here and try and run the ball in the middle. I want to get these fans involved. I'm going to try and put the ball down the field right away.
Mark Edwards, the single setback behind Ty Detmer. Play action. Out in the flat, complete on the first play, and the Cleveland Browns pick up about 11 yards, and it's their go-to guy, Leslie Shepard.
We saw the Steelers spread the Browns defense out. Now you see the same thing with Leslie Shepard. What they do is they just spread it out. You want to just walk as many linebackers out as wide as you can. On Scott, he just runs a little in pattern, catches the ball, does a nice job now of squaring up and becoming a runner.
Shepard caught 43 with the Redskins a year ago. He said he predicts a very big year for himself here in Cleveland. Edwards picking his way, hit at the line of scrimmage. Here's the Browns offense. Ty Detmer, the quarterback, not the #1 pick in the draft, Tim Couch. Detmer saw limited action last year as a backup in San Francisco. His runners are Kirby and Edwards. The receivers, Johnson and Leslie Shepard, who, as we said, caught 43 with Washington. Smith, the tight end. A veteran solid line. Brown, Jim Pine, the #1 pick in the expansion draft. Woolabaugh and Brown. Blitz on Detmer. And throws it incomplete, intended for Kirby, but Carlos Emmons was right there. The Steeler defense has Harrison, Joel Steed, virtually immovable in the middle, and Roy, the strength at linebacker. Gilden, the remarkable Levon Kirkland, a two-time Pro Bowler, Holmes and Emmons. In the secondary, Chad Scott, the former #1 pick, back after missing all of last year, along with Washington, Flowers, and Travis Davis. 3rd and 9 for Cleveland. Detmer with good protection and throws right into the hands of Carlos Oldham. Chris Oldham with the interception. Poor throw by Detmer.
Chris Oldham does a terrific job of just reading Ty Detmer's eyes. He stays with him as the route starts to come in behind him. He just slides with him. Number 24, Chris Oldham, is on the inside. You see him top right of your screen. Now he just slides. So you see him looking back at Detmer? He sees the curl trying to go to Shepard. Ty just stares him down. That's not even a tough play. Every one of these defensive backs of the Steelers have got exceptional hands.
Pittsburgh forces the early turnover. They'll set up shop at the 39. Bettis. Only a yard. Covered by Miller and the middle linebacker, Wally Rayner. There's the #1 pick in the draft. Tim Couch, who broke all the records at Kentucky. Just biding his time.
And I think he's got some time to bide, too. This game's going to have to get way out of hand for us to see him in this football game. I think, Ty realizes he made a mistake. Chris Palmer over talking to him, letting him know what he has to make an adjustment to, and he'll get it done.
Well, that's the one thing that Chris Palmer told us. Just don't make mistakes. We're not going to get that many opportunities on offense, but when we do, we have to take advantage of them.
Steelers burn. These overhead shots provided by the Goodyear Blimp Spirit of Akron, high above Cleveland Browns Stadium for our game tonight. 0-0. Steelers and Browns halfway through the first quarter. Cordell Stewart facing a 2nd and 10. Pressure in the screen to Edwards. Look out for this kid. Edwards down the sidelines and out of bounds at the 20.
Kevin Gilbride told me last night that he's going to find ways to get the ball to Troy Edwards. He'll call specific plays. He doesn't want Cordell to check out of him.
Well, I'll tell you, this was a beautifully designed play. You watch this. He sets it up, and watch the offensive lineman get out in front of him. The blocks are there. Demonte Dawson downfield, but this young man did the rest of it on his own.
He told us last night, I'm not a rookie anymore. We're done with the preseason. It's time to be a grown man. The grown man just got 19. Bettis bowls his way near a first down at the 10.
John Theory's got to believe that, you've got to be able to tackle this guy. You cannot just tackle him with your arms. You've got to get your body into Jerome Bettis. Theory again, number 53. I mean, he shakes his head. Here comes Bettis. You've got to hit him head up. Theory is there. Arm tackling won't get it with this guy.
And you don't want to match up with Marquez Pope having to bring him down 5 yards down the field because it becomes 10 in a hurry.
Trying to tackle him with an arm is just a theory.
Michael.
You I'm sorry.
Couldn't resist. Couldn't resist, could you? I think it's a little short.
No.
Being that you didn't ask, I thought I'd offer. Yep, there it is, another link.
I'll tell you, this has got to be a scary position for the defense. Any defense when you're facing Cordell Stewart and you've got 2nd down and an inch and all the weapons that he has around him, plus all the things that he can do himself.
Bob Slowick, the defensive coordinator of the Browns, he actually has done a heck of a job putting together a football team. You can have a lot of guys that are talented, and a lot of these guys have all started last year. It's just getting them on the same page, making them understand your terminology. That's the toughest thing.
Still has to be a team no matter how many outstanding individuals you have.
Well, and that's what
Seattle continues to prove that.
Yeah, Chris Palmer told us the other day, all I want to do is make this a team.
Richard Huntley, the tailback. Cordell on the bootleg. Needs a block. Got it. Drilled at the 1 by Tim McTire. Ouch.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. All the things that Cordell Stewart can do. First he fakes, then he runs, then he gets to the outside.
Cordell does a nice job. You brought it up, Paul. A lot of options. Little play fake to Huntley. Now it's one-on-one outside. He's got a receiver, and he's got the defensive back. Pope decides to back up. He lowers his head. McTire just nails him. I'll tell you, he just wants to continue to run the football to get in this game. Kevin Gilbride's going to sit him down and say, look, I'd like to have you for 16 weeks, all right?
Bettis is back in on 1st and goal. Stewart. Touchdown.
Boy, Tim McTire, you talk about being in no man's land. You don't know what to do. Do you back up? Do you wait on him? Do you go and attack him? And it's too late.
Having had a chance to spend some time with Cordell over the last couple of weeks, I can tell you, he had a chance to throw this ball, but he's proven a point right now. He's saying, listen, I'm back. I'm going to do it with my legs, and I'm going to get it done. He had a guy wide open in the end zone. He chose to just decide to take it in himself. He's making a statement right now.
Chris Brown, the rookie out of Nebraska, on to try the point after. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have scored first at Cleveland Browns Stadium, and it's great to have you back so I can run over you. Shiverini and Powell are deep. Powell across the 20 to the 25-yard line. Cleveland will start from there. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, this is a brand new stadium here on the banks of Lake Erie, but they've already had to install a second grass field during the preseason. Well, they tore the original field to shreds. They had a difficult time maintaining it. It was coming up all over the place. Now, just 9 days ago, they came in and installed a much heavier clay-based sod. I talked to General Manager Dwight Clark. He says he tested out the field by putting on his cleats, running around on it. He says he weighs 200 pounds, so it did okay. He can't wait to see how it holds up when the 300-pound linemen are pushing off on it.
Well, looks fine so far, Solomon. Up to the 29 goes Terry Kirby with his first carry. He's going to be the primary running back. The best he has ever done in his career is 559 yards, but don't expect him to carry the ball that much.
Probably only about maybe 18, 20 times a game. Chris Palmer really has to see who can do what. He's another coach, like Bob Slowick on the other side, the coordinator. What do my guys do?
Detmer for Shepard. Shepard at the sideline, pulls it in at the 48-yard line.
You know, watching earlier games today, we saw some great catches. But when you see a catch like this, you're looking at a man with total concentration. Shepard is looking at the ball, doesn't care about defensive people. Watch this. Watch this. Look at his eyes and his head. Total concentration on the ball, makes the catch outside.
First down, Browns at their own 49.
Bill Cowher says no, but yet he didn't challenge.
Detmer just grabbed out of the backfield. That's quite a catch by Kevin Johnson. That pass was out in front of him.
Mike, when I watched practice on Friday, I noticed Kevin Johnson and Leslie Shepard both in warm-ups. They catch the ball with one hand as easily as they caught it with two. Jerry Butler, their wide receiver coach, said the thing that impresses me both about these guys is they have quick hands. They get them up in a hurry, and they don't let many balls hit the ground.
Chris Palmer paid him a high compliment. He said he has as good a hands as anybody he has ever been around. Kirby on the draw. Not much. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with the defending AFC East champion New York Jets heading to Buffalo for an early division battle with Doug Flutie and the Bills. Join Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, and me right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for prime time NFL football.
Wasn't that terrible about Vinny Testaverde today?
Man. Crying shame. Just a crying shame.
Just feel for him.
3rd and 4 for Detmer. Steelers show blitz. And they come with it. Shepard nearly made a circus catch, couldn't come down with it, and then points at Townsend, but isn't going to get any help from the official.
Well, I'll tell you, I like Detmer standing there. Kevin Henry nails him, but he knew he had to stay for a long time before he could deliver the ball.
Shepard doing a good job of getting outside on Townsend. Now he just tries to make a play. Just the contact alone turns it into a good defensive play, and Shepard trying to make another spectacular one.
Chris Gardocki, a Pro Bowl punter 3 years ago, will kick to Troy Edwards. And he put it in the end zone. There is a flag down back by Gardocki. Chris Oldham was in on him.
And it doesn't make any difference whether it's running in, because all they needed is 4 yards, and they're going to pick up the first down. If it's intentional, then it's 15. If it's just running into the kicker, it's 5. But it won't make any difference. Look at Bill.
There is no foul on the play. There is no foul on the play. There was no contact. No foul on the play.
I guess then I have to ask myself the question, why is the flag on the ground?
7-0 Steelers, 2:33 to go first quarter. Let's go back to the punt and see if we can see contact. Flag was thrown, but they picked it up. All right, we'll try to get that for you in a second. Cordell Stewart brings them out at the 20. Changing the play. And almost used another timeout. Now he does. They've used them all.
Mike, let me tell you something. Kevin Gilbride and Bill Cowher have given Cordell Stewart a lot of freedom and opportunity to make changes. Sometimes as a quarterback, and I speak from experience, you can take that liberty too far. And I sense in the first quarter, he's doing that. He's trying to look for too many things instead of just running with Kevin calls.
All right, let's go back to the punt, and we're going to see Oldham. Really, when you look at it, watch Oldham. Now watch what Gardocki does. Oldham's down underneath him. And watch him step down on Oldham. When he steps down on him, he turns and falls down.
His right knee, Oldham's right knee hits into his plant foot. I mean, obviously Bob saw something. He threw the flag.
Yeah, I don't know how someone else could change that. What I'm saying, when I look at that thing, I would have never made a call on it myself as an official. But somebody's telling him that he didn't hit him. If you throw the flag, obviously he saw something we didn't.
Well, here's the other interesting thing about the third timeout. Pittsburgh cannot challenge a call. They are out of timeouts for this half. The officials can do it in the last 2 minutes, but Bill Cowher is out of that option.
And we're in the first quarter.
It's all part of the growing process of Cordell Stewart. I really feel like this year, Kevin Gilbride is an excellent teacher of quarterbacks. He will learn how to manage a game, obviously better than he's done in the first quarter as the year goes on.
Bettis already has 7 carries for 34 yards. Whitman dropped it. John Whitman out of Penn State. Good blocker, good receiver, but he didn't show it that time.
Joe, let me just say one other thing about the timeouts. Where, you know, when you look at this young man taking a timeout, there are guys who would sit there and let that clock run down and take the penalty. I mean, he would rather be in a 1st and 10 situation than sitting back there taking those penalties. I really, as a coach, don't mind him taking the timeout.
I disagree with that. You have to save
Well, I knew you would.
You know, 1st and 15 is not insurmountable, really.
Stewart under pressure in the pocket and throws complete first down out to the 37-yard line to Courtney Hawkins. Good poise by Cordell that time.
Now he stays in the pocket. He's run out of timeout, so now he's got to stand there and make plays. Nice job looking over the field. Feels like he can throw the ball with anybody.
Number 72, Gandy on Jameer Miller. It's the guy that Joe talked about in the opening who's got to have a big game. And they just locked him up. Seneca also picked him up.
Bettis turns the corner and chopped down at the Pittsburgh 48. Wally Rayner. And Rayner, you better believe, has been looking for Bettis, who mispronounced his name earlier in the week, called him Maynor. And Wally Rayner said, by the end of Sunday night, everybody is going to know my name.
You want to know why Jerome Bettis welcomed Cleveland back? Watch this. When you have an offensive line and a tight end that blocks like this, the tight end blocks down, the guard and tackle pull to the outside, and look at the hole. Welcome back, Cleveland.
Bettis again. He's going to get those 30 plays and 10 to 12 carries in the first quarter.
You know, we've talked an awful lot about Pittsburgh on offense. But the Browns defensively, you take a group of guys and you start to piece them together. A Jameer Miller, you get a rookie at middle linebacker, John Theory. Both those guys are over 260. And the big guys up front. For the Steelers to only have 7 points at this point of the game, I think they're doing a pretty darn good job for not really playing with one another much.
And Theory is new to linebacker. He was a defensive end with Chicago. Huntley is in at tailback on 2nd and 9. Stewart to Whitman, and he's wrapped up quickly by Jameer Miller at the 44. So these Cleveland fans have not had a lot to cheer about in the first quarter, but their team is hanging in there. And at the end of the first quarter, the Pittsburgh Steelers back to Cleveland. Chris Spielman was signed as the leader, the heart and soul of this defensive unit in the offseason, but he injured his neck in the preseason and went on injured reserve. A terribly tough break for this ball club, emotionally as well as what he brought to the table as a player.
He is, and he's the guy that was supposed to be the defensive leader, and they're going to have to pick it up with a young football team. But I'm going to tell you one thing about this guy. I admire him for everything that he has ever done in football.
I'm just thrilled that after he took that time off to spend it with his wife, he had a chance to come back to the game. There are a lot of us who have left the game for a while who've never had a chance to come back and feel those juices and get excited again. I know he takes an awful lot of the game with him, And a lot of guys in Cleveland are going to know that Chris Spielman has been a part and is a part of this ball club.
Stewart throws complete down to the 30-yard line, and Will Blackwell makes the catch.
Antonio Langham giving Will Blackwell just a little bit of room. They bring the blitz. He does a nice job. He doesn't want to make a mistake. Comes in, makes a shoestring tackle, but he gets the guy down, and that's the key. If the quarterback's going to get the pass off in a blitz, you have to get the receiver down.
Blackwell, who made tremendous strides a year ago, really being counted on this year as a third receiver. Huntley didn't have a chance. Torn down in the backfield by John Theory. A flag down on the play.
Way to go, John Theory. Now he's realizing that you have to wrap your arms around people in order to bring him down.
5-yard face mask foul, number 53 defense, enforced from the end of the play.
Unless you wrap it around their face mask.
Yeah, unless you wrap it around their face mask. John, I'm starting to feel bad for you now.
Theory was a defensive end at Chicago. He tried to tell the Bears all along he was not a defensive end. He was a linebacker. He had to gain some weight to play that position, and it still wasn't enough. He just didn't get it done at that spot, out of position.
Well, Mike, we talked about the size of the linebacker. You got a rookie in the middle. Jameer Miller's 265. John Theory's 265. To me, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm going to throw the ball on early downs. These are big guys that are going to have trouble getting back and covering the flats.
Stewart on the bootleg. And that appeared to be tipped, and Huntley couldn't get to it. Derek Alexander may have gotten a hand on it, and he was caught between a rock and a hard place as well.
Oh, but, you know, he did the one thing that the defensive linemen are taught to do. Derek Alexander got his hands up in the air. Watch this. Cordell Stewart's throwing. He gets his hands up and knocks the ball away. That's beautiful.
Second down for the Steelers. Huntley goes in motion. Draw play to Whitman. John Whitman dives inside the 23. They need to reach the 21 for a first down. A rare carry for Whitman.
You know, John, we're talking about Bettis getting 30 plays, and what Cowher was telling us, he wants him in on 30 plays and maybe carry the ball 10 to 15 times
right.
in it to get him in, just to get him back in shape. Now he's back in the game.
Well, I think the thing is, too, is it's going to depend on how Jerome feels. If he feels pretty good midway through the third quarter, he might say, "Go, look, I can go a little bit more."
Another long drive for the Steelers. Bettis trying to get the first down. Upended right at the line.
Antonio Langham. You had a nice talk with him yesterday, didn't you?
We had a chance to visit quite a bit. He's starting to play with a little more confidence again. Does a good job. People say the corners are little guys. Here's a little guy that comes up. He's not afraid of the bus. He doesn't have one of those yellow slickers on. He's not going to get out of the bus's way.
He wasn't in there for a transfer.
Well, they got a good spot on that, too.
Yeah, but you know what? Pittsburgh's heading to the dog pound.
This is a situation in the past where Bill Cowher would really want to pound the ball in. I think with Kevin Gilbride as the coordinator, this is an opportunity to try and put it in the end zone on 1st and 10 throwing it.
And Cordell is back to throw. Pump fake under pressure, throws it away, and nearly threw it right to Jameer Miller. Mike Thompson out of Wisconsin was applying the pressure. He had Stewart around the ankles.
Mark Bruner ran down the middle of the field, Joe, and not a soul was near him. All Cordell Stewart had to do was look at this guy. Watch this. You won't see a brown shirt anywhere.
This is one of those plays, and Kevin Gilbride mentioned to me, he said that sometimes Cordell just doesn't see things. This time he saw Jameer Miller and got as close to him as anybody.
2nd and 10. Draw play Whitman. Wrapped up this time. Thompson, the first man to hit him. They are going right at the new dog pound. And the most rabid of Browns fans sign up for this area.
They're in benches. They don't have seats.
They shouldn't.
They're all in benches. On the other end in the end zone, there are seats.
That's okay. They've pelted me with enough biscuits in the past. They deserve to sit on benches.
Big play here, 3rd and 8.
Serves them right.
Browns come with a blitz. Cordell throws underneath. The catch made by Shaw, and Shaw taken out of bounds. Short of the first down, Ryan McNeil.
I hear so many people criticize quarterbacks for throwing short when they need 8-9 yards. You throw where the defense allows you to throw the football to make a positive play. Don't go running around and stand back there just trying to make one.
And you throw when the rush allows you to throw as well.
It's up to the receivers and backs to try and pick up the rest of it, too.
Norm Johnson cut a year ago. Chris Brown comes on to try the first field goal of his professional career. It will be 29 yards. A 7th-round draft choice out of Nebraska. Tomczak, the backup quarterback, his holder. Officially, it will be 30 yards. Hit the upright. There is a flag down, however.
Going to be against Cleveland.
And Chris Brown with a sigh of relief.
Offside. Defense, number 53, lined up in the neutral zone.
John Theory, the linebacker.
First down.
And it's a first down.
Number 53, right there. They said he's lined up in the neutral zone. You can't have your body in there. The neutral zone is the ball, the width of the ball. I should say the length of the ball. You just can't have any part of your body in it.
This is the thing that's upsetting him, the mental mistake. That's a mental error.
And a big one on 4th and 1.
You bet.
They've had the ball back. Now it's 1st and goal. Huntley stops shy of the 5.
All right, we talked Wally Rayner, the rookie, in the middle. And they said one thing about this guy, he will hit you. He's number 58. Watch this guy. Boom, slides to the outside, gets himself square, and makes a play. And also, your guy again, Antonio Langham. I don't know what you said to him. He's hitting people.
2nd and goal for Cordell Stewart. You take it outside? No, you go to the bus.
Remember I talked about before Cordell Stewart when he ran the ball in the end zone making a statement on himself. Now Bill Cowher is making a statement. Even though there's been a change in coordinator, the Pittsburgh Steelers base a lot of what they do on toughness, and toughness is running the football. And that's what he wants to do down here. They're also right back in that area where you talked about, Paul. Now you've got that athletic ability of Cordell Stewart that you just can't ignore.
Third and goal. Bettis in motion. Cordell on the roll and throws, but short of the goal line. Hawkins makes the catch. It'll be 4th down. Really threw that pass where it didn't do him any good.
See, if I'm Bill Cowher, I go for it here because your defense is playing well, and you got to figure you'll have Cleveland backed up. Unless, of course, you want to put some points on the board.
Well, you got to let this, I agree with you. I would go for it, too. But you got to let your field goal kicker, who just missed one, he's first time out, you got to let him kick. You got to give him some confidence.
That was covered very nicely, by the way. Chris Brown this time from 19. Got this one. And the Steelers with their second long, productive drive of the ballgame. Brown to kick. Cheverini and Powell are deep. Cheverini will take a knee, and they'll start at the 20. The Steelers, on the strength of an 18-play, 79-yard drive, now have a 10-0 lead over the Browns here in Cleveland. Browns down 10-0. This is only their 10th offensive play of the entire ball game. Terry Kirby for about 3. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcox.
Mike, here I am, a former Bengal and Steeler, hanging out in the dreaded dog pound. This is the one place I tried to avoid when we came here to play against the Browns. But I must be safe because right now I'm hanging out with the original dog himself, former Cleveland Brown cornerback Hamper Dixon. After this next play, he's going to tell us how this whole phenomenon got started in the first place.
All right, Solomon. Detmer changes the play. Held it too long and was buried by Jason Gilden, who led the club a year ago in sacks.
Ty Detmer's going to try and look to find a receiver. Now, this is from Detmer's angle. You get to see what he sees. Nobody out to the right. All you see are Steelers. Everybody's covered. But the thing you have to do is there's got to be a clock in his head that says, I've got to get rid of the football. You've got to avoid that long yardage situation.
3rd and long. Good protection again. He dumps it short to Kirby, and Kirby didn't have a chance because Levon Kirkland is right there. Let's check back in with Solomon.
All right, Hamper Dixon, you're the originator of this whole dog-bound thing. How did it all get started?
Solomon's crazy. I was trying to think of something to help the defensive line get going because we always had a great secondary, not a great defensive line. I was thinking about how a dog chased the cat, but the thing just exploded. I mean, you see how big it is today. We're sitting here and it's going crazy.
That's right, and we want to thank you for joining us, Mike. I guess his only regret is that he didn't get a trademark on a money-making phenomenon.
Well, that would have been a great idea, wouldn't it? Gardocki kicks to Edwards, the rookie from the 33. Had a seam, lost his footing, went down at the 44 mark. Edwards tripped him up. A 47-yard punt, officially returned at 12. 10-0 Steelers. The Browns haven't done anything. Steelers take over at their own 44, already leading at 10-0 here in Cleveland. Bettis, the tailback, and Stewart to throw. Loose ball. The Steelers cover. Chris Conrad, the right tackle, got back to get it after Derek Alexander knocked it loose.
Boy, what a great play by Chris Conrad, though. I mean, he gets beat first, but he saves the day by getting the ball. Now watch Alexander, 94, on Conrad. He gets beat, reaches in, knocks the ball away, but Conrad sees him on the ground, sees the ball outside, and gets it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. He didn't necessarily get beat. Cordell pulled the ball down. He gives him time to throw the ball based upon the route. If he's going to hold it a little longer, you can't blame the guy for getting a play.
5 wide receivers on 2nd and 22. Quarterback draw. Cordell lowers his head and bowls out to the 42. ESPN's Thursday night game night at 7:30 Eastern. Chris Fowler and company. They'll preview the weekend's big games for you. Then at 8, Mike Tirico, Kirk Herbstreit, and Lee Corso from Provo, Utah for the first conference game ever in the new Mountain West. Number 24, Colorado State against BYU. The Cougars fresh off that tremendous win against Washington. And Cougar quarterback Kevin Federick with a 500-yard performance. 3rd and 12. Wide open is Ward. Hines Ward inside the 20. There's a flag down. It's going to be a personal foul on top of it. And this defense can't get off the field on 3rd down.
That was a terrific job.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. 95 defense. Enforced from the end of the play. First down.
That's a terrific job by Cordell Stewart, looking to the left and then coming back to Hines Ward. Ward gets by Fuller. Now, Fuller thinks he's got deep help from Ryan McNeil, but McNeil never gets there. That's why Fuller is so upset after he makes the tackle. McNeil got locked on Stewart and never got over to back up his corner.
Number 95, Jameer I mean, just throwing Cordell Stewart to the ground, that's something they will not tolerate.
They've made a couple of those throughout the day today to serve notice to defensive linemen that they're going to protect the quarterbacks even more this year than they have in the past.
First and goal, Steelers, a 40-yard pass play, the personal foul on top of it. Bettis hit at the line of scrimmage and then works his way down near the 3.
You know, you look at all these people here, Joe, and we went out to dinner the other night, and happy birthday to both of you guys.
Thank you.
Later. But, you know, no presents, just happy birthday. That's all you get.
Thanks for allowing us to pick the check up.
Yeah, no question about it. I was invited to dinner. But you know, the nice thing about the people here in Cleveland, what they're saying to this team, just perform. You know, if you don't win, that's okay. Just try. Give it your best shot. Defensively, they are giving it their best shot. Offensively, that's another question.
Bettis.
Jameer Miller absolutely fires through the middle of the line and just tattoos the bus. Oh, my. There he is, 95. You're going to see a big collision right there. Here comes Jameer. There goes the bus.
How do you stop a bus? Hit it with a truck.
If I can't hit quarterbacks, I sure can hit running backs.
260 against 250.
Whoa. Third and goal. Huntley in a tailback. Stewart in the flat. Touchdown, Huntley.
Boy, you want to see a perfect pass. That was absolutely perfect.
Wasn't that pretty?
Well, Marlon Forbes is right on Huntley's hip pocket. Cordell Stewart proves he's not only an athlete, but he's got a terrific arm, and he's accurate. That's one of the things Kevin Gilbride said about him. He said he not only is an athlete, but watch his throw. Huntley's number 33. Good move. Look at that throw. The only place you can put that and get a completion.
That was the strike. Chris Brown knocks it through. Cordell Stewart, who only threw 11 touchdown passes all year in 1998, has his first of 1999. And the Steelers are up 17-zip. Steelers up 17-0. They kick it away. Cheverini, 2 yards deep. Taken down at the 10, lost his balance. ESPN Outside the Lines returns Tuesday at 7. Nothing but net sports online. We examine sports and the internet, the good and the bad, player websites, how internet rumors are affecting college basketball recruiting. Plus NFL stars Terrell Davis, Jamal Anderson, and Warren Sapp talk about their involvement online. Outside the Lines, Tuesday at 7. The Browns have rushed for 9 yards, passed for 40. They only have 12 offensive plays to 42 for the Steelers. Detmer, the quick out to Kirby, couldn't hold it, hit immediately by Dwayne Washington.
Those are the little mistakes that the Browns can't make. Taking a sack to get into 3rd and long. Not getting positive yardage on 1st and 10. The worst thing they can do is create long yardage situations for themselves. If this keeps up, we're going to see Tim Couch a lot quicker than I thought we would.
Really a tremendous first half disparity. 214 total yards to 43. Time of possession is 3-1. Good protection again. Dumps it off to Edwards. Kirkland brings him down at the 15.
And the only amazing part about this whole thing is all the things that Bill Cowher was saying in preseason before the season started. My defense, I want to do it with the defensive line. I don't want to blitz. And everybody said, well, you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they blitz all the time anyway. And we asked him yesterday, and he started to laugh a little bit. But they've been doing it with the up-front people. And that's the best part of this defense.
Orpheus Roy, you just saw him. He is their best pass rusher of the down lineman. Detmer on a little roll. And throws way too high for Johnson. And they'll have to kick it away again after another 3 and out.
Not only way too high, but way too not near.
That's really not Ty Detmer's strong suit. is rolling out and trying to run around and make plays. These receivers are not going to get away from those corners that easily of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to be real close to him, so he's just not going to be able to make stuff like that happen.
Edwards waits back at his 42. Gardocki. Nice punt. Edwards slips down at the 46. A 6-yard return after a 45-yard hanging punt. Sonny Detmer and his wife Betty, the parents of quarterback Ty Detmer.
Has to be very, very proud. Learned an awful lot from Paul Brown. And just to have his son start for the Cleveland Browns, it's almost got to be like full circle for him. Ty said that when they were growing up, his dad would share things that Paul Brown had preached and taught, learned from his dad.
He was a very successful high school coach in Texas, and normally coaches' kids turn out to be terrific players. Bettis, gaping hole down to the Browns' 40. Gain of 14.
I'm sorry about laughing, but Tim McTire, I really felt so sorry for him. I mean, this hole is wide open in the offensive line, but at the end, number 22, Tim McTire for Cleveland, watch what happens. But look at the blocking in this offensive line. Demonte Dawson, 63, blocking down. Everybody turns in and out, and look at McTire on his knees. Here comes Bettis. I'm all by myself. Get me some help.
14 carries, 71 yards. Jerome has almost reached his quota. Stewart to Blackwell to the 35. McTire and Rayner were right there, and Blackwell shaken up.
Hey, one thing about this Cleveland defense is not for lack of hitting.
No, sir.
You bring up a great point, Paul. Remember we were talking to Chris Palmer? He said, hey, look, these are the things I want. I want few mental mistakes, and I want guys flying to the ball. So far, he's getting the guys flying to the ball. It's the mental mistakes that have created some problems for him.
Helmet-to-helmet contact. McTire put it right on Blackwell. The other thing I thought Chris Palmer said that it was a very smart move on his part. He said all these players come from 33 different systems.
Right.
We can't put in so much that they can't handle it mentally. We have to play vanilla on defense, vanilla on offense, so that they have a chance to play.
I'll tell you, it was a shock. And I'm really proud of you. Because,
well, thank you.
Well, you know, he said to him, what do you have? How much of your offense do you have in? 20%? 25%? He looked at Joe and he just smiled. He said, 20%. And that's about all they can take.
You know, and it's the thing. He did it in Jacksonville. He did a fabulous job in Jacksonville. You know, Matthews goes in and plays, runs one play like 14 times and manages to score 40 points by doing it for his offense. It really is a question of execution and getting everybody on the same page. That is the biggest challenge for Chris Palmer early in the year.
Well, he is a teacher, and they know it's going to be a long-term process. Steelers have dominated offensively. They are up 17-0. Faces 2nd and 5 here in Browns territory. Stewart with plenty of time to Bettis. Rayner brings him down after a gain of 2. John Theory also in there to help out.
Well, John Theory was in there to take a blow.
From Rayner.
Oh, he got wrapped. He comes in to help out on the play, and Bettis and Rayner hit him.
Cordell Stewart has really spread it around tonight. He's hit 8 different receivers here in the first half and has been very, very efficient. And he won't
force. That's the problem.
Huntley is in on 3rd and 3. Draw play to Huntley. First down. Pittsburgh does not have a timeout. They called all of them in the first quarter.
Yeah, but you know, you're in field goal range already. The big thing Cordell has to do now is just make sure he doesn't take a sack and make it any more difficult for Chris Brown.
I'm not amazed. I'm not with Pittsburgh's offensive line. They've always have had an offensive line that comes after you.
1st and 10, clock running down to 123. Bettis ridden down at the 20 by Arnold Miller.
See, I think Pittsburgh is not doing a very good job at this point of getting in the huddle, getting some things taken care of. They've run 2 plays in almost a minute. And I don't think that's very efficient at this stage. They don't have any timeouts. I think they ought to get it up a little bit faster. Bill Cowher's got to get his guys moving a little bit quicker.
2nd and 4. Bettis has already played and carried the ball more than Bill Cowher expected. Bettis again. Clock all the way down to 32.
And this is now all of a sudden they start to speed it up. I mean, this should have happened a minute ago to get everybody moving a little bit quicker.
They'll stop the clock for a measurement. It looks like it's at least a half yard short.
This is what Cordell Stewart has to do now. They've stopped the clock for a measurement. They've given him a timeout, basically. He has to get in the huddle, call a play, get his guys to the line of scrimmage, so when it's marked by the referee, as soon as he blows the whistle, he gets a chance to get a play off, and he's not wasting any time.
The numbers on Stewart, a very impressive first half.
This is a good job right here. This is when you're thinking like a quarterback.
3rd and short. Remember, they have no timeouts.
Now he's got to spike the ball. He's got to spike the ball and give himself at least 2 shots to get the ball in the end zone.
The Browns are going to do everything they can to delay it. Now the officials see it and will stop the clock on their own and throw a flag.
Exactly.
For delay of game.
Delay of the game. Defense failing to let the runner get up. Number 96. 5-yard penalty, first down.
You know, but it doesn't matter because the Steelers did such a lousy job in 2 minutes. If you don't have timeouts, you've got to speed your people up, either spike the ball or put it on throw it out of bounds.
That penalty really doesn't hurt at all, does it?
No, didn't matter one bit. Actually, it was a good play.
Well, the only thing it did was stop the clock, which Cordell Stewart was going to do anyway.
But it didn't allow them to get an opportunity to throw one in the end zone.
Stewart comes to the sideline. Chris Brown and the field goal unit will come on. Stewart and Will Blackwell, who looks like he's fine after he limped off the field.
I'll tell you, it makes an easier night for Cordell Stewart when you've got Jerome Bettis running as well as he's running, and the way that offensive line is blocking on run plays and pass plays.
They have been sensational offensively, and on the other side of the ball, nothing offensively. This one will be from 28 yards. Chris Brown with his 2nd field goal, and it's 20-0. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcott. Solly, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, they say Cleveland Brown fans are everywhere. One such fan is Cleveland native and ABC star
team-friendly fan he is. Be very patient. After 1 half of play, Chris Brown will kick off to start the 2nd half. We'll see if Cleveland can finally do something offensively. Powell from the 1. Hurdles out to the 24. Check in with Solomon Wilcott.
Yeah, Mike, during the week, Chris Palmer felt like his offense was making too many mental errors, so he simplified the offense. Well, so far here in the first half, it's been a reoccurring nightmare. At halftime, he told me his offense was just making too many mental errors. They're just going to have to play their way through it. I asked him if we could expect to see Tim Couch here in the 2nd half. He simply said, not at this time.
All right, Solomon, thanks. And, of course, that's what the fans have anticipated since he was drafted number 1. Terry Kirby tries the run, and Kevin Henry wraps him up in a hurry.
If you as a runner decide that you want to try and go east and west or sideways against this Steeler defense, you're going to always wind up losing yards. This is the fastest team that Bill Cowher has had. in a long time. And Jim Haslett, the offensive coordinator, says he feels really good about this bunch because they're a veteran group as well.
Detmer draw play to Kirby. Finally a little running room, but Chad Scott takes his legs out from under him at the 25. In the first 4 plays tonight, Cleveland hit Leslie Shepard twice for 32 yards. Only 15 yards in total offense since then. And the statistics really show a total dominance. Time of possession, it's better than 3-1. And the passing yards only 39 for Cleveland. They have rushed for 8 and have a mere 2 first downs.
They have not converted once on 3rd down.
Detmer facing another 3rd and long here. Good protection. And throws too low and incomplete, intended for Damon Gibson. And another 3 and out for the Cleveland Browns offense. This is killing their defense, but they can't get a breather.
But that time, I mean, the offense, the line, the backs, everybody stepped up. They gave them great protection to throw the ball.
Now you're looking for little things that are happening good, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Gardocki has been a busy fellow in the last 3 years. He's averaging over 45 yards a kick in this game. Edwards all the way back to his 25. It gives ground and brought down at the 23. Raheem Abdullah. Nice coverage on special teams. A loss of 1 on the return after a punt of 49. But it's 20-0 Steelers.
Maybe something a little darker. The Navy.
Hey, Lou, do me a favor. Give me that half-inch box wrench.
You've really been wanting a satellite dish, haven't you? You want all the sports. You want all the movies. But you're concerned. Hey, Radio Shack explains everything. And Radio Shack can even install your system for you when you buy now. Plus, when you get an RCA DirecTV system for only $149.99 and subscribe to 99 NFL Sunday Ticket and DirecTV Total Choice Platinum, get 3 months of free programming. All with no long-term commitment. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Hey, beer mime. Coors Light? Are you scared? Nervous? Crowds make you nervous. Beer's cold. Because it's frost brewed. Okay, got it. You're climbing a ladder. No, you're climbing a mountain. Oh, yeah, because it's Born in the Rockies. And delivered by mimes. That's very funny. That's very funny. Just give me the beer. Check this out. Keep the change.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of the telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
We're back in Cleveland where the Steelers take over at their own 24-yard line, leading 20-0. Bettis on the draw play. Dives forward to the 29. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, Bill Cowher was very surprised at Jerome Bettis' first half performance. He said Bettis appears to be holding up very well as far as his conditioning. He also said it's a sad commentary of the need for one to work in training camp. Now, he said you'll probably only see Bettis for one more series here in the second half. Mike?
All right, thank you, Solomon. Bettis already number 2 all-time on the Steelers rushing list. More than 4,200 yards rushing in 3 years. Stewart on the option. Jameer Miller nails him, but he got it out to Bettis. That is not the way to stay healthy.
Well, I have a feeling that I know Kevin Gilbride has wanted to put in a lot of plays to allow Cordell to be able to do the things that he feels comfortable with. I think they're going to have a long talk about this option. This is the second time he's run it. Jameer does a nice job of playing it. And if a quarterback wants to keep running at you, if you're a 260-pound linebacker, sooner or later you're just going to nail him and hurt him.
Well, you take a look at Jameer Miller that time. He just wanted to nail him. He knew he had the ball. He knew he was a runner. He didn't have to worry about roughing the passer.
Do whatever you want with the ball. I'm going to hit you.
3rd and short. Bettis to deep man. Whitman, the up back, will get it instead. Whitman right at the ESPN 1st and 10 line.
You know, Damani Dawson, we talked to him yesterday. He is the best center in all of football. And you also have to be able to use your hands. Now, on this play, watch Damani Dawson on ball. Look at him grab him, pull him down. Just get ball out of the hole.
But everything is so tight. As long as you keep your hands in,
and you don't get
it's
caught.
hard for the officials to see it. Once you get your hands outside, they're going to grab a flag on it.
It is a first down for the Steelers at their own 35. Stewart short set under pressure. Got it complete to Hines Ward. Hawkins,
Stewart,
check it.
Cordell Stewart really, Mike and Paul, is sort of back to that slash mode. You see him here on the quarterback draw, called by design to allow him to get out in the play. Little play action fake. Now he decides he wants to take it in, but he's also done an excellent job of throwing the ball. There's a very accurate pass to Richard Huntley for the touchdown. He's really, I think he's going to blossom this year. I really do.
Well, he's blossomed in this game. 148 yards passing, 35 yards rushing. Huntley is in for Bettis at tailback. Markers down. Huntley dives to the Browns' 43. We'll check the penalty.
Shift.
And this one will come back. One of the few Steeler mistakes tonight.
It is really. And, you know, we were talking to Cordell yesterday, and I said at the beginning.
2 men moving, and they did not reset prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Cordell Stewart had a horrible year last year, and you know, can he bounce back from it? And I said it's up to him. He's got to prove it to himself.
And even to you.
Well,
you said it.
I said I meant that. I mean, this is one football game.
How's he doing?
He's doing terrific. Are you kidding? But even Damani Dawson said to us yesterday, he said, you know, he's got to play well. We need him to play well in the first game.
Huntley will try the outside. Across the 45 to about the 46. The passing offense virtually disappeared last December. They completed only 45%, no touchdowns throwing, 9 picks, and the quarterback rating was 29-3. That's the worst for any team since 1970. It was an unmitigated disaster. Yet in the offseason, they affirmed their faith in Cordell Stewart, Bill Cowher, Tom Donahoe, and the organization, a contract extension for Cordell Stewart. They believe in this young quarterback. Stewart rifles this one incomplete. Should have been caught by Edwards.
You know, the thing about it is, talking to Bill Cowher yesterday, we're talking about, you know, Joe looked at us, you know, he gave him a lot of money. He said, this guy does not play for money. Money doesn't mean anything to this guy. I mean, I guess a little bit, but he is a proud young man, and this is why they gave him the money and the extension in the contract.
Plus, also, you have to look at how many young quarterbacks are available to you that know your system, that you know that you can develop and can lead a football team. If they'd have to bring in someone else, they'd have to start all over. I think it was an excellent move.
And the system that he is operating under now seems to suit him a lot better. They can't get the playoff in time, and Cordell Stewart will use another timeout to avoid the penalty. We've got a timeout on the field. 9:30 ball brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. By Killian's Irish Red, which reminds you, one look says a lot. By Quaker State, for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. And by FogDog.com, your anywhere, anytime online sports store. 3rd and 12 for the Steelers. Here comes the blitz. They dump it to Huntley on the screen. Huntley with blocking downfield all the way to the 30.
That's a case of an excellent call on offense, and Chris Palmer's defense decided to go with 7 defensive backs. Then they decide to bring 4 of them. Well, if you don't cover that guy one-on-one, or if one of the linemen blocks Huntley's man, here comes the blitz. it's run for daylight. You get the safety blocked, Marlon Forbes, and that's it. Please. Please.
I'm not sure what Jerome was trying to tell us there. Huntley on the draw. All the way to the 23. A couple of injury updates for you on the Steelers. Left guard Alan Faneca, a sprained ankle. He could return. Receiver Will Blackwell has a concussion. He will not be back tonight.
Yeah, but they don't even miss a beat. Roger Duffy's in there at guard, and he just did a great job.
The veteran backup, 10 years out of Penn State. This has certainly been a dominant opening performance, and Jameer Miller is the injured player. They could hardly afford to lose their only veteran linebacker, and he'll walk off under his own power for at least a play. With Spielman injured in the preseason and on injured reserve, Jameer Miller is the guy who has to step up as the defensive leader. He knows it, and so does everyone else.
But he can't do it alone.
No.
And you know, you've got Herman McCormick, Jerry Ball, John Yurkovich, Roy Barker, and you've got guys who have started a lot of football games for Chris Palmer. They're the ones that are going to have to figure out a way to play together. This defense will improve as the season goes on.
But they need some help from their offense. Huntley picking his way, gang tackled this time, at least a yard shy of a first down. Lenoy Jones, the first man there in the pack, along with Rayner and Theory. Sometimes you see lopsided statistics, but tonight they are as lopsided as they're ever going to get. Total plays 59-19.
And that means your defense is just out there on the field. And you've got two inside guys that weigh well over 300 pounds, and they're just on a hot night staying on the field.
Third, call it 2. Cordell Stewart fakes the sneak and goes outside to Huntley. First down. That's a beautifully designed play.
Sneaky. Bill Cowher, that's Kevin Gilbride. Kevin's got a lot of tricks. Kevin Gilbride, as an offensive coordinator, guys, has had his offenses 4 separate times ranked #1 in passing of the 6 years that he's been a coordinator. There's a little fake for the sneak and then swing it outside. Get everybody sucked in and let him. It's almost like a sweep.
Joe, they just lost another linebacker. John Theory just limped off to the sideline.
Huntley again getting a big dose of number 33, who pounds it down to the 5. This is the third Steeler drive of more than 10 plays tonight. Cleveland's longest drive offensively is 5 plays.
Well, that time was a wraparound draw. Now we got all kinds of cute little things. We got fake kneels down, swing them out to the backs. Now here's the wraparound. What they mean by wraparound, instead of handing the draw to the runner, you swing around one time and wrap it around and stick it in there.
First and goal, and Amos Zaraway, the rookie, is in for the first time. Zaraway with a carry. Stutter step for a couple to the 3.
It's kind of a half around run.
It was a half around.
You know the amazing thing about it? When you talk about Kevin Gilbride's offense, let's line it up, let's throw the ball, let's do all these things downfield. They came out at the beginning with 5 wide. When you want to get to the basics, when this team wants to put you back on your heels, they just come right at you. They go right back to what they've done before for years and years and years.
That's their basic personality.
Run it down your throat.
170 yards on the ground tonight. And regardless of this score, the Cleveland fans have already won because their team is back. Stewart over the middle, incomplete, intended for Bruner. Tipped away at the last moment by Raheem Abdullah.
And the reason why it was not as accurate a pass as you'd like is because Jameer Miller is right in Cordell's face when he makes the throw. Right up the gut. Jameer hesitates a second. Cordell steps up, tries to make the throw. Jameer does a nice job of pulling off because he already got nailed once. Bruner can't quite make the play.
3rd and goal.
Look out for the athlete.
Draw play, Huntley. Huntley, touchdown. And Joe, I think just the threat of Cordell Stewart having the ability to get to the outside spreads out the field.
Bob Slowick talked about it. He basically said that we have to stop Cordell as a runner. And you're right, it spreads the field out.
Yeah, but when you take a look at Demonte Dawson, number 63, how many guys does he block? There's one. And he leg whips another. And look at the hole in the middle of that field. And again, I agree with you totally. You've got to be looking at Cordell.
The Steelers finally make a mistake. Brown Stadium for tonight's game. Steelers on top 26-0 kicking off. Taken at the 7-yard line by Ronnie Powell. Breaks a couple of tackles. Good return. Gets it out near the 30-yard line. It has been all Pittsburgh Steelers as the rivalry is renewed at the new Cleveland Browns Stadium. People on one side of town rooted for the Browns, the other side rooted for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he may have made a public relations mistake this summer when he said, I've got to admit I was a Steeler fan when I was growing up. I know I shouldn't say things like this, but I was.
Well, that's my hometown, Youngstown, Ohio. And like Yogi Berra would say, 60% of the people, 60% of them rooted for Pittsburgh and 55% of them rooted for Cleveland.
That other 55 went the other way, didn't they?
They did.
Well, you can root for both.
What were you? What were you?
Cleveland.
You were a Cleveland fan?
Always.
That's because we're in Cleveland, right?
2nd and 10 for Detmer. Short set this time. The out to Johnson. He's swarmed under after he makes the catch.
Well, they finally have a manageable distance for 3rd down, 3rd and 3, and Kevin Johnson set it up. You know, here's a guy who they're really counting on. A rookie starting on an expansion team, 2nd-round pick out of Syracuse. 60 catches last year, 9 touchdowns. The thing they'll do is they'll have him play one spot, and that's outside. A lot like Minnesota did with Randy Moss last year, just to get him comfortable with the NFL.
He only had 1 year as a starter at wide receiver. Now Detmer having trouble arranging the players for this set. Comes the big rush, and Detmer goes down, racing through Chris Oldman on the safety blitz and got there in time.
Well, Chris Oldham goes in. Levon Kirkland, 99, was also on a blitz. They sent some people. I said they've been doing it with their front 4, but this time they sent a back and they sent a linebacker. Look at Oldham. He just gets through. Nobody touches him. It's hard to throw it when you're on your back, you know what?
I do.
Gardocki to punt to Edwards. Beautiful high-hanging punt. And Edwards signals fair catch to 34. 38-yard kick with no return off the foot of Chris Gardocki. A sellout crowd has seen its team falls behind by 20 in relief of Cordell Stewart. Amos Zaraway, the rookie from West Virginia, the running back. Zaraway hit at the line of scrimmage. Darius Holland was in on the tackle. Mike Tomczak, the 15-year backup, only 54 passes in the last couple of years. 2 years ago had a chance to go some other places, maybe compete for a starting job, but chose to stay in Pittsburgh. Very popular with his teammates.
And I think it's at his stage after 13 years, I think he made a wise choice to stay there.
They have 4 quarterbacks on the roster this year. Tomczak, short set. Whitman in the flat out to the 42.
But the one thing that the defense of the Browns is not going to have to worry about, as they did with Cordell Stewart, you look at his numbers, is Mike Tomczak is not going to be running a lot of quarterback draws, and he's not going to be running many options. I guarantee you that, too.
But he does have a smile on his face.
Oh, yeah. Right? Cordell put in a real good night.
It's a wonderful start to the 1999 season for him. 3rd and 4. Tomczak to Zaraway. 1st down and more. This kid can fly. McNeil wraps him up at the 45. Coming up next, Sports Center with Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen. They'll catch you up on all the happenings in the day of sports. The carnage in Week 1. The Jets with a tremendous injury. Our Sunday conversation, is it the last chance for Dan Marino? Clemens against Boston. The Red Sox are coming. It's all followed by NFL primetime at 12:30. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson. Highlights of all the games. Tom Zach play action. 37-year-old legs get him to the outside, and he completes the pass to Edwards.
That's a nice move by Troy Edwards to come back to the ball. I said you didn't have to worry about the quarterback.
You said that.
No, I didn't say you didn't have to worry about the quarterback draw. I didn't say anything about moving on the run. Edwards does a nice job of coming back for the ball. Here's the push up on Fuller. Makes him believe he's going up top. He's had a tough time with the footing all night. He slipped a couple times on the punt returns, and there we saw him again. Still makes a nice reception.
Good throw by Tomzak as well. Changing the play. Short set and throws complete to Edwards again.
Michael, when this guy walked in the room yesterday, Troy Edwards, what a pleasant surprise.
Oh, he really was.
I mean,
Wasn't
really
he fun?
He is a fun guy. And you know what I really liked about him more than anything else, of all the things he said? He was upset because he's not starting. And here is a rookie. I mean, he can't understand that. And when we told Cowher that, Bill Cowher said, isn't that great?
Well, he caught 140 passes last year at Louisiana Tech, led the nation. So he's used to being the guy. Zeroa to the 24.
180.
31 seconds to go, third quarter. Edwards at Louisiana Tech. This is his career numbers. 280 catches, 4,300 yards, 50 touchdowns, and he averaged 93 catches a year over his 3-year career.
I don't know that I completed that many passes in a season. Any season.
How about this guy? He flew up 16 members of his family for this game.
He has no game check.
That's what Joe said to me yesterday. He said, if you're expecting a game check, you're not going to get one.
His game check has been spent.
It goes to the airline.
Oh, man.
He had a tremendous preseason. He can be a spectacular player. Zeroa cuts it outside, cuts it back. Young man who broke all the rushing records at West Virginia after breaking all of Jim Brown's rushing records in high school on Long Island. That's the end of the third quarter. Steelers in control. Weekend in the NFL with more comebacks or more upsets the first Sunday.
Hey, how about those Cowboys?
Hey, how about those Bills? No, I really don't. And it's funny. The guys that you expect them from. Jake Plummer's really developing a reputation of comebacks. Brett Favre did it again. Of course, we don't know about the thumb or how long he'll be out. But then the Eagles go out to a 21-0 lead. I mean, they build it up. Everything looks like it's rolling, and they found a way for it not to happen.
Tom Zach casts it at the 22. Huntley in the flat. Turns it up. First down and more. Of course, the thing that stands out, I think, with everybody is the injury to Vinny Testaverde after such an unbelievable year a year ago. A lot of people favoring the Jets to go to the Super Bowl, and Vinny goes down with an Achilles.
Well, you know, I was here in Cleveland when Marino did it, and he stepped up to throw a pass, and I got sick that afternoon. And today I was watching a game, and I saw Vinny going after a fumble. I mean, not being hit. And then whack, and his Achilles goes. I mean, that's awful.
Bernie Kosar was up in the booth at halftime, and just so sad for his former Miami teammate. Zeroa to the 10. There are a lot of guys who have success in this league, and you're as a broadcaster, you're happy for them. And Vinny was certainly one of them a year ago. He had never really been in an offense that suited him, and Bill Parcells told us in preseason last year, I think I really have something here. And boy, was he right. And look at this, the time of possession and the yards. I mean, this is just incredible. And Chris Palmer is really going to have to go to work on his offense. Zaraway, nice cut down to the 2.
You know, when you're looking at Pittsburgh now, Joe, running the ball and throughout this ball game, this defense is exhausted.
You're right, Paul. That's the biggest thing right now. The reason why the Steelers are able to do the things they're able to do, because Bob Slowick, the defensive coordinator on the right, really, it isn't a question of calling plays, trying to get guys in position. It's just that you've been out on the field so long, you know where you want to go, and when you get there, you don't have enough energy or your legs left.
And for the Steelers, what a stable of running backs. You got Bettis at 250, then you bring in Huntley for a changeup at 225. Then the speedster Zaraway at 202. Maafala is also on there. He's injured, not on the active list tonight. Zaraway slipped as he got inside the 2.
But the one thing that doesn't change, because we aren't in preseason, you've got your regular unit, is the guys up front, the Dawsons, the Brendan Stye, Conrad, Gandy. All those guys are going to be up there. Now you've got Duffy in for Faneca. The same starting unit is up front on the offensive line, creating the holes.
Chris Conrad's had a good game at right tackle. He's playing for Justin Strelzik, who's out for the year with a knee injury. He was a key member of this club. Zaraway hit in the backfield. Fights forward, got inside the 1.
John Theory, very similar type of play we saw Jameer Miller make down around the goal line, knifing through to cut him down.
All this defense is doing now, they're just firing gaps. I mean, they're really not, you know, playing defense as a unit. They're playing almost individually. Watch Theory 53. He fires in the gap. Zaraway is there. He makes the tackle. That's a great hit. Third and about a 3/4 of a yard.
Zaraway over the top.
They're not going to give it to him.
No signal.
4th down. They are not going to give it to him. What a wonderful job by that defensive front and linebackers of the Browns. They met the leaper at the height and knocked him back. There's Ball, Yurkovich. They get under the Steeler line, which allows the linebackers to get up in the air and knock the ball back.
And boy, all that was pride.
Exactly. The ball was up in the air. Zaraway almost had the ball over that line, and they knocked the ball back.
That's a nice job by the official, too, knowing where the ball is.
Chris Brown will try a 19-yard field goal. A dominating performance by the Pittsburgh Steelers to start the season. Ronnie Powell lost the football. Steelers recover. The rookie Edwards makes the recovery after it was knocked loose by Lance Brown. And it's going from bad to worse for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, you've got to get yourself up the field. And when you're running the kickoff return, you can go sideways only so far. And watch Brown here. Just strip the ball out. Edwards on the ball, picks that baby up, and he's headed for the end zone. He gets tackled. You know, this is just a great hit, great special teams. But I'll tell you what, that defense, they were all prepared to sit down and have some water.
They didn't get any.
They didn't get any water.
$29-0. The Steelers bidding for more. Tomczak out in the flat to Huntley. Breaks the tackle. They're 5. Touchdown. Took them one play after the turnover. Tomczak, a 21-yard pass to Huntley.
One of my biggest gripes is that defensive backs in this era of football try and body block running backs down instead of tackling them. You're not going to knock these guys off their feet. There's a classic case of a defensive back tries to body block him. McCutcheon tries to knock him down instead of wrap him up and tackle him. He's not going to the ground.
It's a rookie mistake. It may have worked at USC, but it doesn't work up here. Chris Brown with another point after, and it's 36-0. Big unhappy puppy.
He looks like he's been left out in the yard all night.
I think all he's got left is a woof.
Powell, who fumbled the last time, got a great block from Cheverini and takes it out to the 28-yard line. Kelsey made the tackle. There is the #1 pick in the entire draft, Tim Couch, who comes on for the first time, and at least for that guy, it's an answer to a prayer. And Tim Couch will get a standing ovation.
And I really think that this could be the beginning of Tim Couch's career, not just in this football game, but I wouldn't be surprised if he starts him next week as well. May as well put him in and let him learn on the job.
The Browns have not had a first down since there was 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Comes the blitz. Couch hangs in there, throws, intercepted. Scott Shields, the rookie, picks it off. What a debut.
You know what happens on this play? Levon Kirkland, number 99, their middle linebacker, and man, is he good. He keeps Shepard from getting across the middle where the ball was going to be thrown.
The one thing you want to do with the young quarterback is keep an eye on his eyes, because he's not going to look too many other places. You see him just staring down Shepard, and there's Levon just on top of him.
Look at Levon Kirkland. Watch what he does. Here comes Shepard. He grabs him. You could have had a holding penalty on defense there, but he kept Shepard out of the middle.
Sometimes those picks are not the quarterback's fault. Saraway.
Tell you another thing that's frightening. I wonder when was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't punt in a game, and it doesn't look like they're going to punt in this one. Not if they keep getting the ball inside of Cleveland territory.
Ty Detmer just talking it over with them. It's not the kind of thing you worry about. Throwing interceptions is not something you have to concern yourself with when you're a quarterback. They're going to happen. You'd hope it wouldn't be on your first pass of your first professional game, but they're going to happen.
Townsend throws to Edwards. Nice move to get away. Slipped on the turf and brought down at the 17.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I have to go back to you, just to your last statement.
Yes.
Just let me ask you honestly. You were never concerned with an interception?
After I threw one, it was over. No, it bothered me that I threw the interception. But after it was over, I wasn't going to worry about it.
I'll tell you, there were a whole lot of guys on the sideline that were concerned.
Well, but you can't be as a quarterback, because you know they're going to happen. Like you said, sometimes the receiver can't get there, and the defense makes a play. You can't let it worry you.
Well, I always say if you're thinking about the last play, you can't think about the next one. Saraway, nice block by Huntley. Saraway to the 10, a couple of yards shy of a first down.
Now that's really, you know, these guys block so well at the point of attack. And again, Damani Dawson, who is without a doubt, and no one will argue, look at this block. Damani Dawson gets himself square on Holland, just turns him inside and open the hole. Jameer Miller gets knocked out by Huntley, and Zaraway up the middle. This is beautiful.
Dawson has such great feet. He uses his leverage to turn his body and get in the way. He's just a marvel to watch. Zaraway cuts it outside. Tripped up at the 4, but it's a first down. First and goal, Steelers. McTire made the tackle.
This is a real statement for a unit of offensive linemen who play together, who work as a coordinated unit, going up against some pretty good football players on the defensive side that really don't know one another very well. Pittsburgh is making no bones about the fact they're coming out and running the football. The Browns know it. They just can't stop it.
The other thing is scary for other people. Here's a 207 to 10 rushing yardage. Excuse me.
10.
I said 10, didn't I? 10. I said 10?
Yep. Zaraway nowhere to go this time. Cut down at the 5.
The other thing,
the 10 again simply because it looks like a mistake.
It's not a mistake. The other thing that's really scary is Cordell throwing the ball as well as he threw the ball tonight. Now, you know, when you talk about, you know, their offense and they're going to open it up, but when you get back to the basics with this football team, it's run it down your throat. And that's what they do so very well.
Yeah, but, you know, you have to score to put points on the board in this league. I think you can run the football to protect it, which is something they do very well. But if you're going to put points on the board, you've got to be able to throw the ball down the field. That's how you build up leads, and you protect them by running the football.
Second and goal. Draw. Huntley. Dives. He was down before the ball came out. They'll spot it outside the 1.
I think that this Steeler offense is going to resemble the offense that went to a Super Bowl. I think their defense is as good as anybody. And Levon Kirkland said it. He said, we're the best team in the AFC. I'm the best linebacker. And they've got a terrific offensive coordinator in Kevin Gilbride, who's going to really teach Cordell Stewart how to play quarterback. And one of the things they're going to talk about is how to manage timeouts.
Yeah.
Because he used up 3 of them in the first half in a heartbeat.
Now, we talked about Cleveland having to be vanilla because they have so many different guys. This is obviously a new offensive system for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they'll have to grow in that.
Yeah, but they're in
36-0 Steelers over the Browns. They're trying for 7 more. Tomzak on 3rd and goal. Touchdown.
Oh, what a nice job by Hines Ward.
What a throw by Tomzak.
And the first thing somebody's going to say is, why are they throwing? Because the Steelers are working on a new offense, and they want to take a look at things in the red area. Hines Ward, number 86, against Ryan McNeil. Up top, a little stop pattern. Now, this ball is thrown behind him purposely, and he does a terrific job of really out-muscling McNeil for the ball.
McNeil, the 7-year veteran, never got his head around, and the ball was there before he saw it. The Steelers running it up on their one-time arch rival, the Cleveland Browns. 43-0 with 6:08 to go in the ball game from Cleveland. Taken by Tarek Saleh, backup linebacker, and he brings it back across to 30. Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 7. Mike Tirico, Tom Jackson, and Sterling Sharp with all the latest news from around the league. Then at 9, it's ABC's Monday Night Football. Dan Marino and the Dolphins battle Terrell Davis and the Super Bowl champion Broncos. Wouldn't expect that one to be 43-0. Second series of his pro career for Tim Couch. Goes on the draw to Cedric Shaw.
I do think Brian Griese will do well, though.
I do, too.
I think Brian Griese will do well.
Tim Couch did not start tonight, making him only the second quarterback ever picked #1 overall in the draft not to start. Vinny Testaverde was the other. And our best wishes to go out to Vinny tonight for his recovery from that Achilles injury. Steelers may have been offside. Flags are down. Couch throws long. And Johnson was bumped off his route by Dwayne Washington. And Jeremy Stott was putting his head across the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped.
The Steelers finally made a mistake. They got in the neutral zone.
They've been few and far between.
Well, you know, you gave the score. Pittsburgh 43.
Offside, defensive nose tackle. 5 yards. Repeat the down, second down.
Pittsburgh 43 points. Cleveland 51 yards.
And I don't know how much that's going to change. That's the scary part of it at this point. Earl Holmes and Tim Couch get into a little bit. Couch is sort of disgusted, and he kicked the ground and wound up hitting the back of Holmes' leg. So Holmes just turned around and thought he was giving him a shot, and now he decides to let him know that he's not going to tolerate it.
Holmes at 250. Couch at 227, but probably still not a fair matchup. Couch quick set, tries to go outside and off the hands of Leslie Shepard.
You know, I'll tell you what, when you warm up, well, you're a quarterback, you know, but when you warm up 2.5 hours ago and you stand on the sideline for most of the game not thinking you're going to get in, but then, you know, you get, what, 4, 5, 6, 7 warm-up shots, Joe?
You'd like to think you get a few more, but yeah, it's usually about a half a dozen. You're right.
And then come in and expect the guy to be on target. I don't think so.
Pittsburgh comes with the blitz. This one's behind Johnson, and he can't bring it in. So the offensive woes continue for Chris Palmer's Cleveland Browns. Coming up next, Sports Center. Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen standing by in our Sunday conversation with Dan Marino. Can he still get it done in Miami? Our NFL Blitz, the breakdown of a wild Week 1, and taking it to the limit in an All-American final.
I'll answer that first question. Yes.
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 Edwards back to take Gardaki's punt. Beautiful kick. Edwards, wise choice, let it go as he backed up to the 5. A 60-yard punt, but a net of 40 for Gardaki as it will come out to the 20. There's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in Cleveland. Right outside the stadium. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Elvis. My favorite. My favorite. Do it, Paul.
I can't do. I can do my hips, but I can't do the voice part.
Fortunately, we're not on camera, so we can't see that.
Right.
You know, these guys will be back to the next home game just as strong.
Yes, they will.
Those helmets have been sitting in the closet for 3 years.
Pete Gonzalez will get a shot at quarterback. Gives it off to Zaraway. And right now, the Steelers, I'm sure, are thinking, let's just get out of here with no one injured and go home and savor this one and get ready for next week.
You have to ask yourself, what do the Steelers take out of this game? I think you almost, for the Steelers, you almost take the same thing out of this game you would a preseason game. You've seen your offense, your starting unit play efficiently, and Jim Haslett has seen his defense hardly get on the field at all, but were very efficient when they were out there. Then they get ready for the people that they can line up and know are going to be a little bit better competition for them.
Zaraway on the sweep. Flag is down. Joe, don't you also take away the fact that preseason is one thing. This was for real, and Cordell Stewart was about as sharp as you're going to find Cordell Stewart. He looked like the same guy 2 years ago. Free to run, free to be the threat that he was in 1996.
I totally agree.
Holding, number 60, offense, 10 yards, second down.
Anthony Brown, a backup tackle.
And I will say this, too. The difference in Cordell Stewart this year and last year is that Kevin Gilbride has brought in his own offense. Ray Sherman was put in a situation where he had to try and figure out what to do with Cordell Stewart in someone else's offense. And so those were some of the problems that really created a lack of offense for the Steelers last year.
Paul, if you're the Cleveland Browns, I think they are smart enough to realize that this is a long-term building project. They're not thinking this year, if they won 4 or 5 games this year, it would be really a bonus for them.
Yeah, it would be 4 or 5. When you look at them tonight, you really think about stretching the deal. There was another, I think, holding penalty on this play. But you look at the Cleveland Browns, and when we talked to Chris Palmer, you know, he knew.
Holding, number 86, offense. Half the distance to the goal line. Repeat the down, second down.
He knew what he had here. He knew he had a bunch of guys. Joe, you said it was 33 guys from different teams.
33 guys from different systems as well.
Yeah, and he said, all I'm really trying to do here is to put a team together. Now, they're going to have some individuals doing some different things, but until they all come together, you know, you talk Green Bay Packers and the Denver Broncos, when they went to the Super Bowl, these were offensive lines that have been together for 7 years. These guys haven't been together for 7 weeks.
Exactly. Draw play, Zaraway. Perhaps the other thing to keep in mind is that Jacksonville, who many people are saying is the team to beat in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl.
And they looked at today.
They won 4 games in their first year as an expansion team.
And Kevin Gilbride was someone who was Mark Brunell's first real teacher when it came to the quarterback position. As a matter of fact, when Gilbride was talking about Stewart, he felt like he had incredible abilities and was comparable to Mark Brunell. And we've seen him throw the ball accurately, run the football quite well. And Kevin gets a good idea of what he's got to work with, too.
3rd and long for the Steelers. Clock running, 3:28 left. Pete Gonzalez out of Pittsburgh gets it out to Hines Ward. Langham makes the tackle as he crosses the 15 to about the 17-yard line. And the Steelers will have to punt.
I knew I'd jinx him.
Josh Miller thought he was going to get the entire night off.
But, you know, Joe, in the opening, you hit it right on the head. They do not have a game breaker on offense, the Cleveland Browns. And until that happens and all this stuff comes together, you're not going to be that effective on offense. I'm sorry.
I would say this. If you're going to be simplistic and only use 20% of your offense, then from now on, Tim Couch should be your starting quarterback. Let him come along very slowly if necessary, and let him be the man, because he's got a stronger arm, and he's got the ability to go down the field a little bit more, and that's going to be better for the offense.
ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with the defending AFC East champion New York Jets heading to Buffalo for an early division battle with Doug Flutie and the Bills. Join Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, and me right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. Hope you join us next Sunday night for that one. Cedric Shaw is in as the running back for Couch, and he is stuffed.
You heard all the noise here tonight. Wait till you get to Buffalo next week. And they've redone their stadium. They put $53 million just into the stadium with new boxes and new suites and things, and one named after me.
Really?
Sold out. I bought every ticket.
Good move.
Yes, I did. No, I didn't.
The Browns had 6 yards rushing. Now they have 2. That was a loss of 4.
Steelers come after Couch, knock the ball loose. No signal as yet. Pittsburgh football.
Joey Porter.
And this kid can fly. Joey Porter eventually will be a star in the National Football League. He can run, and he'll hit anything that's out there. Nolan Harrison with the recovery. Look at Porter, the speed off the Steelers. Under 2 minutes to go. It has not been the debut that Chris Palmer had hoped for. Steelers after another turnover. Zaraway fighting for extra yardage down to the 32. And if this score holds, Chris Palmer will have suffered the worst shutout loss in an NFL head coaching debut since Weeb Eubank back in 1954 when the Rams whitewashed the Colts. But that's pretty good company to be in.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be mentioned in that vein, but yeah.
Tell you one thing, I am very, very impressed with Chris Palmer. He knows what he has to do, and he's going to get it done here.
And Dwight Clark as well. Carmen Policy, Dwight Clark.
No question about it.
The management of this organization, they're going to have to go out and find some players. First, you got to see what you got. Then you have to figure out some pieces you need to bring in.
And it's not just a question of going out and signing free agents. You only have so much money. You only have so many people you get out of the expansion draft. You can't answer all your problems in 1 year. It takes time.
I think they've started with a good foundation here.
Too.
You drafted Tim Couch. You bring in a Kevin Johnson. Jameer Miller, he is going to be taxed and tested because defensively they have to learn so much more. Jerry Ball is going to have to do his part. But, about week 8, I'd like to see how well this defense is playing.
Zaraway in limited duty has rushed for 44 yards. He won't get another chance as the Steelers will just kill the clock. So the rivalry is renewed with a whimper and not a bang as the Steelers knock off the Cleveland Browns 43-0. But that is a tough start.